another episode of Demi DePew. Well, Live at 5 actually. It's called Live at 5 with Louise in the Demi DePew kitchen. Cucina. Okay, so tonight y'all been asking for the meat dishes. So now that the weather's cooling off a little bit, we're going to turn on the heat in the kitchen and cook some meat. So this would be considered a secondi piatti, a main dish. And this dish I actually learned at a cooking class in Umbria. So it's pork loin done an Umbrian way. And let's get started. And we're going to start with turning on the fire. Oops. First off, I'm going to remove the lid. And I'm using my super cool, I love this, my, what is it? Cast iron with enamel. So it's a Le Creuset. Love this thing. When I get to use it, it does a great job. So we're going to start with cooking up about 6 shallots, which I previously chopped, roughly chopped. And so olive oil, of course. What else? We're starting with olive oil. So let's give a healthy dose of olive oil into the pot. Yes. Oh yeah. We might have to add more later. We'll see. And you know, can't waste a drip of that stuff. And then the shallots are going in. Ooh, that little sizzle. Love the sizzle. Means it's hot enough. And so let's get those going. And I have the fire on, it's probably about medium, because I don't want to burn our shallots. So, yeah, the shallots going, and then, oops, yikes. So the other flavoring that's going to go into this, so this is cool. I didn't even know you could like use these for flavoring, but I'm going to use like 10 juniper berries. And it's ideally these would be soft, which means they're fresh. I didn't go around the neighborhood looking for the juniper bushes and picking juniperberries, but I guess I could have, except for, I don't know, maybe some are poisonous. I wasn't going to take that chance. So anyway, I have dried juniper berries, which you know you make gin out of these things. So I wanted to soften them up a little bit. So I put them in a little pumpkin wine. I go crazy. My sister brought over a bottle of pumpkin wine a while back, and so I'm using it. So we're going to put in about 10 juniper berries. There's 4, quattro. Let's throw those in. And then there's 2, 4, 5, so that makes 9. Oh, and let's throw in a couple more just for good measure. And those go into the pot. So the juniper and a couple little bay leaves. So let's open these guys up and pull out a couple of bay leaves. Again, it's like the other cool thing is like these bay leaves, like they come off of a tree, and these trees just grow around the Tuscany region. It's like this is kind of. You don't even have to buy them. You just pick them off a tree. Anyway, a couple of these are going to go into the pot. And then I'm checking my list to remember everything. Shallots, bay leaf, and the juniper berries. Okay, cool. Now let's get the pork loin ready. So here it is, little pork loin. Love these little guys. Pretty lean cut of meat. So I have no problem using a lot of olive oil in this. So I'm going to cut the plastic off, or cut the end off this plastic packaging. And there it is, a little pork loin. Oh, looks like there's 2 of them. Was that one that got cut in half or 2 of them? I'm going to do them both. But anyway, so let's put these little guys down there. I wonder if I should put more stuff in the pot. I don't know. Anyway, we're doing these 2 little guys. And rinse off the hands. This is like my favorite part. I get to massage, and we're going to massage our little pork loins with salt and pepper to begin with. So big old pinch of salt, sprinkle that all over. The other thing that this is really kind of fun to do this early on. The salt like draws the moisture up to the surface of the meat and gives you an awesome sear. So lots of pepper. Let's turn this baby over. Oh yeah. Oh, rinse the hands again. Whew. We don't want to cross-contaminate between the pork and the salt. And some more salty salt on the top. Quite generous with the salt here. And then a lot of pepper. There we go. And now it says massage. I love this part. I always feel like I'm giving the meat a special little treat. I love to do this with the turkey too. Turkey always gets a special massage. So it makes me kind of think about those people that, like, here I am, I'm showing gratitude for the animal that sacrificed its life so we get to have this yummy pork loin tonight. So like just a little massage. And then we're going to put that aside. So, and that's going to rest until we have the shallots ready to go. So, let me see, do I need to put a little, oh, I think I should put a little water in that pot. Let's do a little water in the pot. But give it another little stir. And of course, sauteed onions smell delicious. And they are getting a little brown. I think I'm going to turn this down a hair, just a smidge, and let this continue doing its thing. And it's starting to get some like yummy brown, crusty crunchies at the bottom, which adds to some fabulous flavor. And let's add just a tad bit of water to this, and that'll help steam up those shallots and keep them soft. So this was like a super fun thing. I learned this dish, like I said, at a cooking class in Perugia. Well, it's outside Perugia, but in Umbria region. It was so much fun. We arrived at this woman's house, and it was in the springtime. It was still a little cool, and it was like just kind of classic, like a movie. We walk into this home. She has this roaring fire going on in the fireplace, and it smelled like coffee. And we started having coffee, and then shortly thereafter, we started on the wine, but not until we had started our meals. So anyway, that's a little bit about that. Oh, so if you have any questions, it's like, I don't know how to read the questions. I don't have anybody here tonight to read my comments. And there's 3 comments, so I'm going to click on the comments. There they are. I can't see them. It just says Insight Comments. Where are the comments? There they are. So Marty from Spain is here. It smells delicious, Marty. My sister's watching because I know she likes pork loin. And then my other sister-in-law who lives in the desert is also here. And yes, she was one of them asking for meat. It was like, you guys Louise, are you ever cook any meat? Enough with the pasta. We have plenty of that. So I do also have another little something I'm going to show you this evening. It's in the oven. So while that's cooking, I know, the dog wants outside. Anyway, while that's cooking, we're gonna, because grapes are still in season, which is so much fun about this dish. It's like, yeah, grapes are in season, so we're gonna use them, and we're using them. Oops, the rogue one just got away. The dog won't eat grapes. I don't think the dogs are supposed to eat grapes. So we're just gonna cut these grapes in half, and they will actually go in the pot with meat in a minute. Oops, let's show you this. So I'm cutting them in half, just like right across the Ecuador. No, that's a country. The equator, that's what I'm trying to think of, the equator. Oh my gosh. So I'm cutting, and the timer's going off. So that means it's time to check. Stop timer. Time to check the, guess what? Melanzane eggplant in the oven. But this eggplant is the way Simonetta and Orazio taught me to do it, which is kind of like a bit of a riff on eggplant parmesan. So let's take a look at this and see how it's doing. It smells amazing. So I'm going to turn the oven off and just keep it in there to stay warm. I'll show you that later when we're waiting for when the meat's cooking. So let's just cut these grapes in half, and they're going to put them in the bowl. and multitasking. What's going on over here? So, waiting for this to soften up some more. It smells delish. So, these are going to cook until they're kind of transparent. It's not like you can totally see through them, but you know, when you cut them up, you'll see what I mean. And by the way, for those of you who try this dish, remember, post your photos and then tag Dimmy Depew. So back to the grapes. Here we are, cutting the grapes in half. Bam. Meanwhile, cut the grapes. Where are they? Oh, they're running around all over the place. So there we go. Grapes. And see, what else can I tell you about this dish other than it was delicious and it was so much fun to learn this thing. Anyway, yeah, in doing this, it was like the place where we did the cooking class was in this woman's home, as I mentioned, in a big, like a farmhouse. And what was cool, it was like kind of out of the city. So it's in a little bit of a rural area. Actually, I think it was quite a cab ride. I think we were in the cab for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. So we were pretty far out. And this woman, they had several acres. So the grapes that we used in this dish came from their property. We also we baked a cake made with jam of fruit that they had grown in their orchard. So it was all the stuff that we were using in the recipes actually were from the farm, with the exception of the meat. I'm not sure that the meat came from any of their animals. So who else is here? So, I have to look at the comments. So if you have any questions, I'm just like, if you have any questions, I feel like I'm at class. Just interrupt me and ask the questions, but y'all can't interrupt because I can't hear you. So cut the grapes in half. Here we are. And then let me take a quick peek. Pork is setting after it got a little massage. The onions are cooking. They're going to get soft. And then we're going to jack up that heat again. So let's see what we have going on over here. Ooh. I like a little caramelization and a little crispy to the onion. So I'm going to do that with this. Instead of just something about the texture and the flavor of all that action of the onions cooking, but actually the shallots. I can't call them onions, they're shallots. There's a difference. I don't know what it is, but there is a difference. They smell the same. They grow the same. They have similar color. Oh yeah, this is going good. I like the way this is looking. Do you want to see what that looks like? Let me show you. Can you see this? Oh yeah. See that brown stuff at the bottom, that kind of crunchy little, oh, I love that. We'll deglaze the pan later with some wine, but for now, we're going to leave that and let it add to the flavor. So this is what we have going on. Okay. I probably shouldn't be moving the computer around like that, the camera. And if it were me looking at that, I would be getting motion sickness from that movement. Okay, so looks like is there another comment or question? Yeah, I know, Marty. I need you to help me with the comments. And it smells amazing. The weather's cooled off. Feels like fall, so we're going to make it smell like fall. And speaking of which, and thinking ahead into the seasons that are coming up. So next week on our Facebook Live, I'm going to share one of Simonetta's desserts. She actually is like my Italian friend who cooks desserts, so I learned some fun things from her and have done some cakes. And I want to show you guys how the Italians do cakes, but it's so different than the way we do cake. It's not, they're not double layers and a lot of frosting, and they're not super sweet, but sweet enough. Yeah, but sweet enough. So there's that. Let me come back to the grapes and let you see what's going on. So our pan is cooking up the shallots with the seasoning. And once that is about ready, and I'm going to probably give it a minute or two more, and then we're going to turn up the heat and then add the pork loin and brown the pork loin on all sides. There we go. Okay, So back to the pan. Let's see what's happening over here. Yeah. Oh, yes. So a lot of brown going on. Browning and looks pretty transparent. There's some nice glazing and crusting on the shallots. So at this point, I'm going to turn the heat back up because now, so this is actually one of my favorite things about this pot, this cast iron pot, is how it holds the heat and it's nice and even and can get super hot. So I am now going to add the pork loin. So here's our little massaged pork with, all it has is salt and pepper. It's been sitting for a couple of minutes, which I like to do. And now we're gonna put that right in here. Let's hope for a nice sizzle. Oh yeah. That is a nice sizzle. Get that out of the way. And then the other piece is going in. Get that all cozy in this nice warm pan. So that's going to cook on each side. I'll keep an eye on it and keep turning it. We're going to cook it till it's white, since it's pork. Turns white. See a little white meat. And while we're doing that, we're back to the grapes. There we go. Back to the grapes. And are there any questions? Let's see. No questions. Yeah, under control. I'm glad it looks like I have everything under control. That's always a good sign. Oh, what I don't have under control is my glass of wine. It's like, oops, forgot to pour that before I got started. So I'm actually, I don't know, can you guys hear? Can you hear the sizzling of the meat? It's like, woo-hoo, sizzle, sizzle going on. Okay, that is white. That side is white. I'm gonna give that I'm gonna let it stir a little longer. Oh, but the onion is like starting to get attached to the meat. It's like, oh, this is gonna be so good. And I'm checking my recipe to make sure that I haven't forgotten something. When does the wine go in? Oh, I think the wine goes in, add wine and deglaze. That's after I cook. So once the meat is all browned on all sides and is like the color white, you know what cooked pork looks like. It won't be cooked on the inside, but on the outside has that glaze. So let's turn that up. Oh yeah. And I'm going to turn that one over. There we go. And there will be some deglazing that needs to happen because now, since browning the meat, it is, high temperature. And those onions are starting to burn. There we go. So in this dish, you can choose red wine or white wine. I happen to pick white. There's about a half a cup in here of white wine because he had some white wine left over from the other day. So we're going to use that a lot. Can't waste the wine. And I'm checking my recipe again. It's in English too. That was pretty awesome. We went and did this Italian cooking class, and the woman actually spoke really good English, so that she had already translated the recipes into English for us English speakers. It was pretty fun. And when I went and did this class, I went with a friend. It was, it was so funny. We did all this cooking. There was all this food. My friend was like, "Why don't we get to take these leftovers?" I think the woman wound up, we did all the cooking for her family that day. It's like, she was like, all that food that was left over after we ate went to the family members, which was pretty funny. Okay. Okay, so the onions are soft, the pork is on high heat, turned on each side, it's almost white. Then we're gonna deglaze, and then add the grapes and the wine, and then it sits in that pot and simmers for about, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. We'll take a look at it. I'm gonna take a look and see. I like it a little bit crispy on the outside and crispy. Oh yeah, that side's a little crispy. I'm gonna turn this again. Oh, so this is an interest. Oh, I can smell it. I'm actually gonna put the wine in and deglaze this pan now because it seems to me that it's getting pretty hot in there. So let's pour this in. You see, get a little good sizzle there. Yeah, can you hear that sizzle through the steam? Oh yeah. And then as it's cooking, we'll scrape up all those little bits from the cooked shallots and the meat. Oh, that smells so amazing. So that's doing a little boily, toil and trouble. I feel like a witch, because it is getting to be Halloween. Oh, this is interesting. It's between the glaze and getting all that crispy off the bottom of the pan, the juice is turning a little brown, like it's a dark kind of brown, like a gravy color. Okay, that's good. And we'll keep it, let's add a little water so that can simmer. And now the grapes are going to go in. Well, about a handful. Does that look like a big handful of grapes cut in half? I think so. Let's throw these in. There we go. And then cover that pot. And then I'm going to turn it down to a simmer. So there we go. There's already quite a bit of heat in that pan. So it's holding the heat, going to continue to cook it just on simmer. Oh, I better set the timer. So I'm going to set the timer for like 25 minutes. And then we'll see. Oops, there's 25. We'll start that. So now, what I hadn't posted previously is I'm going to tell you how Simonetta and Orazio shared this melanzane, this eggplant recipe. So I'm going to pull that out so you can see what it looks like. And hopefully, it smells amazing. What I like about this is it is a bit of a riff on eggplant parmesan. And it was actually, it's a lot lighter. But look at this. Oh my gosh. So let's move those grapes out of the way. There we go. Oh, can you see? Now you can see. Look at this. And it smells so good. So here's how this worked. So I don't know, can you see that these are like, here, let me get a tongs. I'll show you what this looks like. Speaking of which, you guys help me remember to come over here and check on this pork. Oh, while it's cooking in this wine and the grapes, and as the grapes cook and get softened up, I'm going to smush them. Oh, oops. But anyway, how easily do I get distracted here? Quite easily. It appears. So here, can you see what I did? So these are rolled up. So I cut the, I used globe eggplants for this, and I cut them lengthwise. Oh, I don't have one here. Normally I just like slice them so they're in round pieces. But with this I did length of the eggplant so that I would have more surface area. And I grilled it. So I turned on the grill pan and grilled the eggplant. And then, oh, this is the really fun part. So I put like a small slice of fresh mozzarella in there. And then Simonetta and Orazio used prosciutto. So I didn't have prosciutto. I used speck, which is actually smoked prosciutto. It's really flavorful and has an amazing taste. It's one of my favorite things. And then a little bit of tomato sauce. but I forgot the tomato sauce until it was all done. So rolled up on the inside are the mozzarella and a little bit of the speck. Oops, there it is. So I'm gonna get a plate out. Let's check this out. Let's taste this and see how this worked out. And so it's actually a lot quicker and lighter version of eggplant parmesan. There isn't any frying involved, the breaded eggplant. So let's cut into this and see what we have going on here. Do you see this? There we go. Oh, so there's a little bit of stringiness from the fresh mozzarella. Delish. Oh my gosh. That is really stringy. There we go. And then this one looks like it has speck on the inside. Mmm. Oh my God. So the smokiness from the speck really adds this nice flavor to the eggplant. I'll chew it up. So one version, one riff on the traditional eggplant parmesan. Grill the eggplant, and then once it cools a little bit, add a slice of fresh mozzarella and then a little speck. Roll that up, and then I put it into this pan. And before I put it into the pan, I used a little tomato sauce and olive oil for the bottom of the pan. By the way, the tomato sauce, it's not like tomato sauce that you generally find in the grocery store. What I did is it's pomodoro passata, which are fresh tomatoes that go through like a sieve, and you can buy it at the grocery store. I happen to have a can of San Marzano tomatoes, so I just put those through my food mill, my sieve thing, which I love. It looks like the Dunce hat. Remember, we've used that before. And then use that as my sauce. I poured that over the top of the eggplant once it was rolled up, and then sprinkled a little grated Parmesan. I did a little pepper on the top, as well as some oregano, dried oregano, and it smells like a fresh pizza. It actually kind of tastes a bit like fresh pizza. So here's what it looks like when it's all done. So then you have these little mini servings or these little mini bites. This will be so good. I think I might just put this like tomorrow on a piece of bread and make it like a eggplant sandwich. That'd be so good. This smells amazing. All right, so I'm watching the clock. We're about 10 minutes. Oh, no. Yeah, no, 20. What? How many minutes did I do this for? No, I can't remember. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. It says there's 20 minutes left on the meat. So there's a little contorni, a little side dish, another variation in use of eggplant because it's the fall. There's lots of eggplant around this time of year, as well as grapes, and that's why we're using both of those products, both of those fresh things in our dinner tonight. Okay, so I don't see any questions. If they're here, I'm not seeing them. Anyway, I'm done. Except for we're just waiting for this to cook. So maybe what I might need to do is part 2 of this and show you what happens when it's all finished. But before we do that, let's come over and check on how the grapes are cooking up and smash those a little bit and make sure that we, ooh, right, 'cause that's splashing. And make sure that we have enough liquid in there to kind of steam. Oh yeah, keep turning this. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm gonna bring the computer over here so you can see what that looks like on the inside. Inside the pot, that's what I mean. Here we go. There it is. Whoops. There it is. Yeah, yum. Cooking down, doing a little bubble. And that is really just on a low fire. So, there we go. Let's cover that back up. Oh, this fun about smells, how they bring back memories. And this one is taking me back to Italy because it smells like Italy. And I don't have my wine here. Oops. So I'm going to keep eating eggplant. I'm going to keep eating eggplant, and then maybe we'll just turn this off and come back in 20 minutes for part 2 in about 15 minutes when the meat's done, because there isn't anything else to show you other than watch the things cook. And you know, if you're all here at the counter with me, it'd be fun. We could just drink and chat for a little while we waited for the meat to cook up. So photos later. I'll come back on Facebook Live and show you when the meat's done, and run out, get a pork loin, start your own pork loin simmered in grapes, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Ciao. Ciao, benvenuti to part 2. So there's just a few seconds left on the pork, and it smells amazing, and I took a little taste of the sauce, and it is divine. Just transported me right back to Perugia, the first time I had this dish in the cooking class. Anyway, so a couple of questions that y'all had about how to deal with the pork and what to do with it. And yes, and I'm going to do this in a couple of minutes. As soon as the timer goes off, I'm going to pull the pork out of the pot and wrap it in foil and let it sit and rest there. And as we know, there's the timer. Speaking of timers, let's come over to the pot, and I'm going to show you what I was just going to talk about. So let's get the platter out, and I'm going to turn the heat off. Whoa, gosh, look at this. Oh my gosh, and you guys are going to see it in a second. So here, just put this on the platter, and then I'm going to, and then we'll work with the sauce. Okay, here it is, done. Look at the steam, and oh, the smell, like there's a combination of the smell, the scent or the smell from the cooked wine, and then the grapes. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, so this is what it looks like out of the pot. It's been browned. Now let's get it in a foil somewhere. Oh, here's some foil. So let's do a quick little wrap in the foil. So this is like the cool thing about this is like you could make this dish and then wrap it in foil and let it rest and come back to it later, like after you go watch a Netflix or pick the kids up from soccer or go to parent-teacher conference meeting or whatever. Run to the grocery store, get more wine. So let's, oh, it's hot. Woo-hoo. Oh my gosh, that smells so amazing. Leftovers are going to make a fabulous salad or sandwich, not a salad. What am I talking about? Okay, so there it is. It's hot and it's wrapped in foil. We're going to let it rest for a little bit. And now the sauce, because wait till you see this. Ooh, I'm not letting any of that go. Actually, I'm going to taste it right now. There's a little bit of the sauce in this platter, which actually is shallots. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was so good. And it's going to pair nicely with our melanzane. I don't even know how to describe it. There's a little tang, and then the subtlety of the bay leaf in there. Fabulous. So let's put that platter to the side. Let's get our pot. Let me show you. Oh, I have an idea. I'm not going to strain this. So here's the juice all cooked up. So there's the shallots in there. You can see that I didn't totally get the grapes all smashed, and there's still a little of that deglazing that could have gone on. So when we did this in the cooking class, we actually strained the juice from this pan. I am not going to strain it because I kind of like the idea of the chunks from the grapes. So what I will do is I'm going to pull out the bay leaf because we're not going to eat those, and pull those out to the side. And I'm thinking either an immersion blender on this. Yeah. Let's do a little immersion. Except for, you know what, I do want those, you know what, that's what we're going to do. Let's continue to smash those grapes and then put it through a strainer. I don't have a smasher. And I was thinking, what else could I do here? What else could we use? My thing, the food mill thing. Anyway, let's smash these up with my fish spatula, which I love this fish spatula thing. I use it for so many things. Smashing too. Oh yeah. Okay, that's it. Let's get a strainer, and I want to pull the juniper berries out. Let's put the strainer over this 4-quart measuring cup and start scooping the juice into the strainer and do a little, we'll smush it here so we can get the juniper beads, because I keep calling them beads. They're not beads, they're berries. Oh my goodness. There we go. Let's do that. But then we lose all that yummy flavor. Well, the actually texture. The flavor's still there. Yeah, let's see. That looks so good. So we're just going to smash that a little bit. Or maybe I'll just pull out the beads. I mean the berries. I keep calling them beads. Yeah, I kind of like this little chunkiness with the to the sauce. But let's do it the way we did it in class. No, because then there's not any, then we're just not very much sauce. All right, we're pulling the juniper berries. There's 2 of them. I'm just going to go back in. There we go. And there's the sauce. We just can put that in a, you can tell it smells good. My dog is checking it out right now. Ooh, and let's see. Oh my gosh. So there's like, so tasty. You have the pork mixed in there, and then there's something about a little sweet something with the pork. And then there's a little bit of tang after the sweet. It hits my sweet spot on my tongue. This is so yum. All right, I'll stop licking my fingers. And then here's, we're gonna put this in a little boat, serve this up with the pork, and then we're going to call it a night. So, buon appetito, enjoy, and see you next week when we'll do a dessert from Simonetta. Ciao!